In the heart of Africa, nestled between rolling hills and whispering grasslands, lay a village so tranquil it seemed untouched by time. Here, life moved at the pace of the sun, where children played under the watchful gaze of ancient baobab trees, and adults shared stories around crackling fires under the blanket of a star-studded sky. It was a place where the rhythm of life had been constant for generations. But within this seemingly timeless haven, there lived a girl named Nisa, whose spirit burned with a light brighter than the midday sun, a light that threatened to shatter the tranquility of her village and illuminate the darkest corners of her nation. Nisa was a beacon of curiosity, her mind as vast and boundless as the African sky. While other children chased butterflies or herded goats, she chased knowledge, collecting discarded papers and pencils to draw diagrams of imaginary machines. She spent hours observing the world around her, questioning why seeds sprouted, why rivers flowed, and why stars twinkled in the night sky. She devoured books with an insatiable hunger, her thirst for knowledge unquenchable. Her passion for science was so intense that it drew unwanted attention. The villagers, rooted in their traditions, saw science as a distraction from the simple life. They couldn't comprehend Nisa's fascination with the workings of the world. To them, it was a fruitless pursuit that offered no practical use in their everyday lives. They wanted Nisa to focus on more tangible aspects of life, like domestic chores or preparing for an arranged marriage, something that would ensure her place in their society. Her own family, though loving, couldn't nurture her extraordinary gift. Her father, a stoic man with hands gnarled by years of working the fields, dreamed of a simpler life for his daughter. He saw science as a world too complex and cold for his sweet, innocent girl. Her mother, a woman whose days were filled with tending to the home and family, couldn't understand Nisa's fascination with books and theories. She yearned for her daughter to focus on becoming a good little girl, a dutiful wife, and a bearer of children rather than a scientist. Despite the discouragement, Nisa continued to pursue her passion, spending hours after school poring over books, collecting data, and conducting experiments. Her room, though small and simple, became her sanctuary, filled with notes, diagrams, and failed experiments. Every night before bed, she would gather up her discarded papers, the ones with her equations and musings on the world, and hide them under her worn-out mattress, her most prized possession. It wasn't just the villagers who mocked her. At school, too, she faced ridicule. The other children, with their taunts and jeers, made her life a daily torment. They couldn't comprehend why she spent her time on books rather than playing or socializing. To them, science was a foreign language, a complex, incomprehensible subject that had no place in their simple world. Nisa became the village oddball, the strange girl who talked about things that made no sense to them, the one who preferred the company of books to that of other children. The only solace she found was in her old rusty bicycle, a hand-me-down from her brother that had seen better days. It was dented, its paint chipped and faded, much like Nisa's hopes for acceptance. But to Nisa, the bicycle was more than just a means of transportation. It was her ticket to freedom, her passport to a world beyond the judgmental eyes of her village. With each pedal stroke, she felt a sense of liberation, of movement towards a future where she could explore the mysteries of the universe, without the weight of other people as expectations holding her down. As the years passed, Nisa grew into a young woman, her spirit unbroken by the hardships she faced. She finished high school, her mind brimming with scientific queries, but her path was uncertain. Higher education seemed like a distant dream. Her family couldn't afford the cost of university, and the thought of leaving her family for a scholarship in a distant city was unthinkable. One day, Nisa stumbled upon a tattered flyer advertising a regional science competition for young minds. It was a chance for students to showcase their scientific projects and win scholarships to universities across the country. An idea began to form in Nisa's mind, taking root and growing rapidly. She decided to participate, and her project was both simple and brilliant, a water purifier made from recycled materials that could provide clean drinking water to her village. This was not just about winning a scholarship. This was about bringing light into the darkness of her village, quite literally. She envisioned a future where every child in her village had access to clean water, where they wouldn't have to walk miles to fetch water, and where their parents wouldn't fall sick from drinking contaminated water. She imagined a future where her village was not just another statistic in a long list of impoverished communities, but a place of hope and health. With the support of her teachers, Nisa began working on her project. Day and night she toiled, testing, refining, and perfecting her design. She spent hours in the school lab, her fingers stained with chemicals, her clothes smelling of chlorine. She collected discarded plastic bottles, old bicycle parts, and broken electronics, items that others saw as trash, and transformed them into a functional, sustainable water purifier. As the day of the competition approached, Nisa's hopes rose, only to be dashed by reality. Her family, though supportive, couldn't provide the materials she needed for her project. Discouraged but not defeated, Nisa turned to the one thing she had in abundance: her determination. She spent weeks gathering discarded materials, piecing them together with bits of wire and glue, creating a contraption that was as ingenious as it was makeshift. When the day of the competition arrived, Nisa presented her project to the judges. It was a far cry from the polished projects of her competitors, yet it was functional and innovative. The judges, impressed by Nisa's resourcefulness and the effectiveness of her device, awarded her a scholarship to a university in the capital city. Nisa's journey to the national stage began with her water purification project, the same project that had brought her face to face with the stark realities of her situation. As she stood on that stage, a spotlight illuminating her dusty clothes and worn-out shoes, she knew she was more than just a representative of her village. She was a symbol of thousands of young African minds brimming with potential. She had gone from being a ridiculed schoolgirl to being a national science champion. The transformation was not just in the way people saw her, but also in the way she saw herself. The shy, insecure girl who once hid under the dim glow of a street lamp was now standing tall, her voice echoing with confidence. Her victory was a beacon of hope for many young Africans who dreamed of a better future. She proved that intelligence and brilliance could emerge even in the most desolate of circumstances. Her story became a national sensation, inspiring thousands of young minds across the country. She was interviewed on national television, her words echoing across the nation, urging young people to embrace their curiosity and pursue their dreams regardless of their background. Her life took a dramatic turn. She moved to the capital city, leaving behind the familiar sights and sounds of her village for the bustling urban life. The transition was tough, but Nisa's spirit remained unbroken. She threw herself into her studies, determined to make the most of the opportunity that had come her way. Years passed, and Nisa blossomed into a brilliant young scientist. She graduated with honors, her mind sharper than ever, her resolve stronger than before. Her professors, recognizing her exceptional talent and dedication, offered her a position as a research assistant, a chance to stay in academia and continue her exploration of the scientific world. Today, Dr. Nisa stands as a testament to the power of curiosity and the strength of the human spirit. Her journey from a girl who studied under a flickering street lamp to a renowned scientist is a beacon of hope for many. She continues to conduct groundbreaking research, mentor young students, and inspire awe in all who know her. Her story is a reminder that brilliance can emerge from the most unexpected places, and that with hard work, dedication, and a curious mind, one can light the path to success even in the darkest of circumstances.